Are pursuits making a return to Dauntless? It seems like the answer is yes. Come summer 2024, pursuits will be making a return with the plan changes that will make them bigger and better than before. We are still in the early stages of development for this game mode, but we wanted to share some high-level ideas and a few of the things that we've been working on to allow you to share your feedback and suggestions with us as we continue to iterate and improve on our designs. Our goal is to introduce new encounters and new ways for you to defend the Shattered Isles, all while keeping focus on targeted behemoth hunting and bringing you valuable rewards that will make every hunt worth your while. Targeted behemoths. With pursuits, you would be able to choose a specific behemoth to hunt each time you embark on a hunt. We know that the way the hunting grounds is currently set up can result in a lot of unnecessary repetition just to fight a specific behemoth. This is really interesting because I never really thought about how understated a feature like just being able to pursue the thing that you want to pursue for the items that you want to pursue. It just is in a video game. And I think with the hunting grounds being the main focus, that perspective that the player has of like what needs to be done. You know, in pursuits, it's more like, hey, I need to pursue this, and this is the target. This is the hunt, you know? With the hunting grounds, the behemoths kind of fall by the wayside, and everything turns out to be like, how do I reforge the fastest? What gives me the most EXP? And when you have the idea of like, and when you have all this information out there, like guides and build videos and all that stuff, it's like a lot of the behemoths just become filler or like just kind of like a chore to burn through, and you're waiting for the right thing to pop up. It's something I've honestly never thought of, just because I've been playing this game for so long. I have no idea what a new player is thinking when they go into the hunting grounds. So this is a very interesting perspective, and I think a lot of like veterans will also find it interesting. One of the challenges we currently face is figuring out how to make the main game mode fun and rewarding for players that have very different goals. Ones that will want to just zero in on killing the targeted behemoth and leave, and ones that enjoy exploring the island for other encounters and objectives. Okay, let's see what those are. Rewarding objectives. Each island might also present a host of unique side quests and new encounters for you to discover. Ideas we are currently exploring include protecting explorers, helping researchers discover new secrets about the behemoths in the Shattered Isles, and defending structures from rampaging behemoths. Side quests may have themes that allow you to explore the world of Dauntless more deeply, so you might find ones that involve helping Zelio the Farslayer track a dangerous behemoth, gathering data for Dr. Briani, or protecting Granny Strega as she gathers some herbs. You could potentially earn quests, rewards, and power-ups to help with your behemoth pursuit. New encounters may include things like other wandering behemoths and other adversarial creatures you can fight, behemoths attacking NPCs or structures on the island, shrines, and more. These encounters may change with every pursuit, so each trip outside Ramsgate might bring you novel, new combinations of challenges to overcome, all of which contribute directly to leveling up and improving your weapons. One of the new creatures we have designed so far presents you with a stealth attack. At a glance, they look like gatherables you can interact with on the island. When you interact with them, you will either get a reward immediately or trigger a creature that you can fight for a greater reward. Note that, unlike the lesser creatures you might encounter on the hunting grounds before, these new creatures have far more complex mechanics. Each fight is not only challenging, but also rewards you handsomely. And then they have this little video that shows off the fauna. I guess they come out of the ground to assist, like it's like a batch of them or something. I haven't seen any sort of like stealth attack or... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it was like an ambush, maybe. I don't know. That it says stealth attack, but I don't really know what that video is supposed to show off other than what it looks like. Anyway, moving on. Multiple difficulty levels. Each of the islands in pursuits will likely have multiple difficulty levels. You may find similar behemoths as the difficulty increases. Each of the islands in pursuits will likely have multiple difficulty levels. You may find similar behemoths as the difficulty increases, but not necessarily the same ones as always. For instance, one island might have Embermane at tier 1, but a Bloodfire Embermane at tier 4. To unlock the different islands and their difficulty levels, you would have to complete new main story quests. And here's the last bit, called A Whole New World. The Shattered Isles are under constant threat from behemoth attack, and we are currently working on a world map that will finally show off the frontier of the Shattered Isles in a way that you've never seen before. We will share more details about pursuits as we progress. As we are still iterating and making design changes, the points we mentioned above are subject to change, so let us know your thoughts and feedback in the upcoming AMA, or anytime on Twitter, Reddit, or Discord. We value your input as we continue to make changes based on your feedback, in addition that we already planned, and then it just wants you to go to the community hub and all that stuff. So this is all really interesting because while the pursuits coming back are something that I can get behind, I am someone who, I don't know if this is like a minority thing, but I actually really like the hunting grounds. I think the hunting grounds solved a lot of the problems that pursuits dealt to the player, because in pursuits, people don't really talk about how, like, for the average player, you're probably on an island for a couple minutes. However, when you get better at the game, you're only there for, like, it could be potentially a minute. And that includes the run to the behemoth, right? And so you would spend a lot of time at loading screens and running to the behemoth rather than actually fighting the behemoth. Which, at a high level, you know, when you're playing at a quote-unquote high level, I think that becomes an issue. Like, the hunting grounds is something that, like, really solved that. And so my suggestion, like, off the bat, just based on what I've seen thus far and what I've experienced coming back to the game, is keep the Blazeworks. I think if, like, pursuits are coming back in place of the hunting grounds, there should still be the option to run the Blazeworks so that people at high level can still just, like, go and farm their reforges if that's something that, like, really gets them going, you know? I think that having the Blazeworks is, you know, keeping the last couple of hunting grounds just so people at level 20 have something to do to, like, build up extra things for reforging. Even if reforging is still a thing, like, it sounds like they're veering away from the new, like, they're making a brand new progression system, which is interesting. So this seems like a smaller piece of a greater puzzle that they're just showing off to kind of be like, hey, we're actually making stuff. But I think, like, pursuits are cool. Like, I think the idea of pursuing a specific behemoth is important because people just want to get their loot and leave. I want to know who's exploring. Like, brand new players might be going around the islands just to see, like, what's up and, like, just getting a feel for the game. But, like, after you've been playing for a week, I want to know who's, like, going around exploring all the nooks and crannies of the island that have nothing on them. And I think this is it loops back, like, that idea of, like, hey, I want to explore this island. And then like, if that's something that the player is doing and it's like a widespread behavior, that just tells me that there's more things that need to be done to the Shattered Isles rather than hunting behemoths. And this, I mean, sky fishing when, you know, farming when, player housing when, like, anything, you know, like, anything that will allow me to create my own little space or, like, build a table, or I don't know. I mean, if the sky's the limit, like, please make any other activity that is actually fun on the Shattered Isles so we can, like, go to Ostia and fish up specific fish there. Or, dude, there's, like, you could do a fishing tour. Dude, just play Final Fantasy 14 for, like, a month, Phoenix Labs, and come back with all these activities, because, like, there's fishing tours, there's unique rare fish that only come out with certain bait at certain times. There's just so much. There's just, like, I don't know. I feel like I've said it all before, you know, like, you guys have probably heard it all from me before. You guys gotta add more stuff. You can keep redoing the progression system as many times as you want. You can keep redoing, you know, all the behemoths, or like, changing up the meta, but, like, at the end of the day, we just don't have a lot to do. You know, there's not really a lot of people that are, like, there's nothing keeping people here on the downtime. And that's something that needs to be looked at. So I hope that Pursuits is a smaller piece of a greater puzzle, like I said before, and I'm really hoping that, you know, with all these new objectives, giving people a reason to go on, let's say, expeditions. Like, look at the guiding lands from Monster Hunter World, look at expeditions in Monster Hunter, like just across the entire genre. That's how you're supposed to get loot. Like, that's how you're supposed to get consumable loot. You know, going out and getting the ores and the mushrooms and all that stuff, that comes from expeditions, which is something that Dauntless had before, but they got rid of those like really fast. But I mean, you could just make a certain expedition for like 3 different maps. These are the maps that you go to get all the different loots, you know, and all the nodes like respawn at a hastened timer, right? You can do that. I don't know. There's so much to do, and there's so much to, I mean, I'm just pretty much rambling at this point, but it's all been said before, you know? I don't know how these sort of like pursuit objective things really solve the problem that they're looking to solve, right? If you're trying to get targeted, like if they just say like, oh, you need to defend this structure to get this ore that only comes from this objective so you can upgrade your weapon, I'm kind of rolling my eyes at the thought of that. But you know, if it gives me like a item that allows me to get any rare material, like the essentially like a mantle, like it gives me a currency where I can buy the equivalent of like the epic piece from one of the behemoths, then that's cool. But I think ultimately it's not gonna be that way, and it's gonna mean that I'm gonna be doing things that I didn't really I didn't download Dauntless to like play King of the Hill. I downloaded it to, you know, play an action game, you know? And defending things is, I don't know, objective-based Monster Hunter just doesn't sound like it to me. So, I don't know. I hope that gets across in some way. Like, I hope they make it fun, because based on what I've seen from Puffle Hop Rescue, some of the other just like mini game modes that they've implemented, like none of them hit. So I'm hoping that there's something more here that can prove to me that their like objective based gameplay is going to be good and fun, and something that I would want to do if it randomly showed up in my game when I was playing by myself. So that's where I'm gonna leave it there. Some food for thought. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Overall, I think this is a good step in the right direction, but it needs more, and we're missing information. So be sure to let them know at the AMA on Reddit, and we'll see where things go from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.